It's wild, isn't it? Just how fast everything's changing around us.
It really is.
And whenever I try to sort of pin down what's at the heart of it all, what's driving all this change, I keep coming back to AI.
Yeah.
It's not just some futuristic concept anymore. It's really shaping our world in a very real way right now.
It's woven into the fabric of so much of what we do now. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. AI-powered growth.
Exactly.
You hear that phrase everywhere, but we want to get beyond the buzzwords and understand what it actually means for businesses, for people like us on the ground.
Right, exactly. And to do that, we've been going deep into some fascinating articles from the Future Tech-Wise blog.
Some great stuff in there.
Yeah. And our mission for you listening is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We want to break down those core concepts of AI-powered growth and really highlight the tangible ways that AI is, well, I guess you could say revolutionizing the way businesses operate.
It is a revolution in a lot of ways. And as we go through this, you'll notice a few big themes kind of weaving their way through the conversation. We'll be looking at automation, of course, but also how personalization is becoming so much more sophisticated. The incredible potential of predictive analytics, how AI is accelerating innovation, and how all of this leads to a more, well, robust and scalable business model.
Okay, so let's jump right in with that first theme then, automation and efficiency. Now, I'll admit, when I hear the word automation, my initial reaction is, I don't know, it sounds a bit impersonal, a bit cold.
Right. Yeah, like robots taking over the world.
Exactly. But the reality, the outcome of this automation seems to be quite the opposite.
I think so.
It's about freeing up human potential, right?
Absolutely. I mean, at its core, that's what it's all about. AI-driven automation can handle those repetitive routine tasks that, to be honest, no one really enjoys doing anyway.
Right.
Think about things like manually processing invoices, going through those basic customer inquiries, scheduling appointments, all that tedious stuff.
It's a huge time suck.
Right, absolutely. And AI just eats that stuff up.
Yeah, it's the kind of work that can drain a team's energy and, frankly, introduce a lot of errors. And the real beauty of it is that by handing these tasks over to AI, it allows people to focus on what we humans are truly good at, those areas where our unique skills really shine.
Definitely.
Things like creativity, complex problem solving, strategic thinking.
You can focus on the big picture instead of getting bogged down in the minutia.
Exactly.
Which is a huge win for everyone.
So it's not about replacing people. It's about making the most of, our human capital.
Augmenting our abilities. Yeah, exactly.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about something that's become almost like a basic expectation for customers these days.
Yeah.
Personalized experiences.
Oh, yeah. Personalization.
Those generic one-size-fits-all approaches, they just don't cut it anymore.
They really don't.
People expect businesses to know them, to understand their needs, their preferences.
To feel seen,
Yeah.
Like they're more than just a number.
Exactly.
And that's where AI comes in. By analyzing huge amounts of customer data, things like what they've bought before, how they interact with a website, what they say they like, AI can help businesses personalize pretty much everything.
Wow.
The content people see, the product recommendations, the way marketing messages are written, all of that can be super targeted to the individual.
Okay, so it's way more than just putting someone's name at the top of an email, right?
Yeah.
This is about really getting to know each customer and providing value that truly resonates with them.
Yes.
And I imagine this kind of hyper-personalization, it must have a real impact on customer loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Keeping those customers happy and coming back for more.
The numbers definitely back that up. We're seeing businesses that get personalization right, experiencing a much higher customer lifetime value.
That makes sense.
And what's really fascinating is the predictive element here. AI can actually anticipate what a customer might want based on their past behavior, maybe even before they know it themselves.
Whoa.
That's how you create those wow moments, those interactions that people remember.
That's incredible. It's almost like having a mind-reading superpower, but powered by data.
It is kind of like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of anticipating the future, that brings us to predictive analytics, which always sounds so incredibly complex.
It does, yeah.
But at its core, it's about using algorithms, these clever sets of rules, to identify patterns in those giant data sets.
Okay.
And those patterns help us understand what's likely to happen in the future.
So instead of just looking at what's already happened, businesses can get a glimpse into the future and be prepared for what's coming next.
Exactly. It allows for a much more proactive approach.
I see.
Instead of just reacting to what's happening now, you can anticipate challenges that might be coming down the road. spot opportunities before anyone else, and make smarter decisions based on those insights.
That's pretty powerful. It's like having a weather forecast, but for your business.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, let's move on to innovation and new product development then.
Okay.
So, how does AI actually contribute to creating those new ideas?
Well, you can think of AI as this amazingly efficient research assistant.
Okay.
It can sift through massive amounts of information, research papers, market trends, data on what the competition is doing, and it does it way faster than any human possibly could.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In all that data, it can spot gaps in the market and even come up with new product ideas that might not have been obvious to us.
So it's not that AI is having these light bulb moments on its own. It's more like it's giving human innovators those raw materials, the data and insights.
Right, it's the fuel,
Yeah.
and we can take those and use them to develop those innovative products and services.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And it really speeds up the whole research and development process.
Yeah.
Companies can bring new solutions to market so much faster.
Right.
And in today's world, that speed can be a huge advantage.
It can make or break a business. Absolutely. So we've talked about growing efficiently with automation, growing smart with personalization and prediction, and growing with new ideas through innovation.
Right.
Now let's talk about scalability and sustainability.
Yeah.
Because as you said earlier, growth needs to be smart. It needs to last.
It does. Sustainable growth is about building a business that can expand and operate effectively over the long term
Right.
and do it in a way that's efficient, especially when resources might be limited.
Makes sense. So where does AI come into that?
AI plays a key role in all of this, and it's through those mechanisms we've already talked about.
Oh, okay.
Automation streamlines those processes, making everything run more smoothly.
Right.
Data-driven insights help us use resources in a smarter way. So it's not just about getting bigger, it's about getting better.
So AI helps businesses scale up without necessarily needing a huge increase in costs.
Right, exactly. Making
Well,
that growth more sustainable over time.
it's about doing more with what you have.
Exactly. Intelligent growth.
Mhm.
Using technology to maximize impact and build that solid foundation for continued success.
Now, these concepts are all great in theory, but I think it helps to get specific.
For sure.
So let's look at some real-world applications of AI-powered growth, some of the examples that stood out from the Future Tech Wise blog.
Absolutely. I mean, if we take marketing as an example, AI is completely transforming how businesses connect with their customers.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing much more targeted email campaigns.
Okay.
Emails that are tailored to individual preferences.
Right.
Ad targeting is becoming incredibly precise,
Wow.
reaching the right people at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, I see those ads all the time that are like eerily specific to what I've been looking at.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And AI can even predict which customers are most likely to make a purchase, which helps businesses focus their efforts.
It's about working smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly. No more of that spray and pray approach.
Okay, what about in sales? How is AI being used there?
In sales, it's helping automate those early stages of lead qualification.
Okay.
So sales teams don't have to waste time on leads that aren't a good fit.
Yeah.
They can focus their energy on the most promising ones.
Okay.
And, of course, personalize those customer interactions.
Right, so you know who to talk to and how to talk to them.
Exactly.
Okay.
And something else that's super valuable. AI can provide much more accurate sales forecasts, which is crucial for planning.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that most of us have probably experienced firsthand as customers, the rise of AI in customer service.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those chatbots are everywhere.
They are. And, when they're done well, they're actually pretty helpful.
Oh, yeah. They're getting good.
They can provide instant support, answer those frequently asked questions, 247, which is a huge win for customers who need help outside of business hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, it frees up human agents to handle those more complex issues that require a human touch.
Makes sense. Okay, and circling back to new product development, how are we seeing AI being applied in the real world there?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. AI can analyze all that market research data,
Mm-hmm.
the customer feedback, all those online conversations,
Right.
and it can use that to identify unmet needs and those trends that are just emerging.
So you're basically getting a head start on what customers want,
Exactly.
even before they know they want it.
It's pretty powerful. And this means companies can develop products that are much more likely to be successful
Of course, yeah.
because they're based on real insights.
So it's like eliminating those shots in the dark, those products that are, solutions looking for a problem.
Exactly. You're solving real problems from the get-go.
Very cool. And finally, what about operations? How is AI making a difference behind the scenes there?
In operations, AI is being used to optimize supply chains, which is becoming so important with all the disruptions we're seeing.
Oh, for sure.
It helps companies be more efficient and resilient, so they can handle those unexpected challenges.
Right.
AI can also predict when equipment might need maintenance,
Okay.
which helps prevent those costly breakdowns.
Yeah.
And it can even enhance resource allocation, making sure everything's running smoothly and efficiently.
Wow. So it really is touching almost every part of a business, isn't it?
It really is.
Now, the Future TechWise blog also makes an interesting point about the human side of all this. As we embrace all this incredible technological power, we can't forget about the human element.
That's so important. AI offers all these incredible capabilities, but we can't lose sight of the importance of human connection, of empathy, of kindness.
It can't just be about the numbers.
Exactly. Technology should help us connect better, help us support each other, and foster real collaboration.
Yeah, I think that's a really important message. Using these powerful tools in a way that aligns with our values as human beings.
Absolutely.
It's about building a better future for everyone.
It is. And that brings us to the idea of making these AI solutions accessible to more people.
Right.
The blog post highlights On Passive as a really interesting example of an AI-driven ecosystem that's doing just that.
Okay, on passive. So what are they doing specifically in this whole landscape of AI-powered growth?
They're offering a really comprehensive suite of tools, all powered by AI,
Okay.
designed to help businesses of all sizes automate their processes, personalize their marketing, and operate more efficiently, more effectively.
Got it.
Their big goal is to empower businesses to grow, of course,
Right.
but also to create multiple streams of income, diversify their revenue,
Okay, that's smart.
and to deliver exceptional value to their customers.
So it's about making the power of AI available to everyone, not just the big players.
Absolutely. And the key idea here, as the blog points out, is that when businesses succeed, it has a ripple effect.
Yeah, the win-win.
Employees benefit, customers
Mhm.
benefit, the whole community benefits. It's about linking business success with human well-being.
Yeah, it all comes full circle. This deep dive into AI-powered growth has been really eye-opening. It's clear that AI is having a profound impact on, well, pretty much everything.
It is, and as we look ahead, the possibilities are really exciting.
Yeah.
If we can integrate these technologies thoughtfully,
Right.
and most importantly, remember that human element,
Yeah.
nurture that collaboration,
Yeah.
we can create a future that's filled with potential.
It's an amazing time to be alive, that's for sure. And by listening today, you've got a much better understanding of the core ideas driving AI-powered growth. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. Given the potential for both, massive efficiency gains and those deeper human connections, how can you start to explore and integrate these principles of AI-powered growth into your own work, into your own life?
It's a great question. What's one concrete step you can take to harness this transformative power? Think about that.
I will